All right, y'all, this time we are talking about time management, right? And so, y'all know I got my notes right here, so y'all may see me bouncing back and forth. But so time management, a lot of people think it's more so of like, I'm losing track of time, the lack of, time itself, when really time management is more so about focusing on clarity, focusing on, following through, right? And making sure that the things that we set aside to do, or places that we need to go, that we really focus on those intentionally and actually get those things done. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is, when do you feel, I would say, the most like energized, right? Is it in the morning? Is it during the midday? Or is it at night? For me specifically, it's in the morning. Why? Because in the morning I get up, I read my Bible, I journal, I listen to some type of like motivational music, some type of motivational podcast, or something that's motivating, that's going to start my day. And then I work out, make sure I eat my good breakfast. And that's my morning routine, right? I used to like get up and I'm like, okay, I gotta do this at the house. I gotta, run and do this Amazon shift. And, when I was doing Amazon, it's just like, no. The first couple of hours in my day for me is gonna be for me, right? You have to set the intentions for your day. Soon as you wake up, if you look at your phone and it ain't pulling up a Bible app or going on YouTube to watch a motivational video, if it ain't something positive and you pulling out your phone and you checking social media and trying to read emails and responding to texts, you have already literally set the tone of your day with the chaos, right? The world. Set yourself intentional for the first 30 to 45 minutes, if you can, in the morning, and do whatever it is, that you choose to do in a positive way, in a positive note that's going to pour back into you. Because again, we're entrepreneurs, we're leaders, and we mentors. So we have to, if we're pouring out to other people, we still have to find that fuel to continue to keep pouring back into us, right? Ask yourself, and you can write these things down. When do you feel most focused during the day, right? Figure out how, and that's also based off of your schedule. If you're working a 9 to 5, if you have kids, if you got to take the kids, to school early, figure out in the time of your day, okay, when do I have time for myself, right? That's going to be the first thing. And when I say time for yourself, again, it doesn't have to be, going to get my nails, I'm going to get a massage. Literally 10, 15, 20 minutes for you to read a book, to find something that's inspirational, to learn something for you. Figure out where you can fit that in your schedule. Because energy raises and then it lowers, right? All throughout the day, we're not just so hyper, right? And then sometimes all throughout the day, we're not always just low. It varies up and down, again, depending on how you set the tone for your day and depending on the other things that you actually have going on throughout your day. So picking the time of the day, and there, if you go in your workbook, there is basically a time tracker. And in that time tracker, and you don't necessarily have to do this every single day, but you do want to do it kind of consistently and frequently until you get down your routine. Because sometimes you'll try something and you're like, okay, this is not going to work, and that's okay. So then let's adjust. And then you go back into that same workbook and then write down another schedule if the first schedule didn't work. And you're like, okay, I gotta get the kids to school, so I now have to put time for me here. And then try that out, for a week. It's trial and error, right? It's trial and error. So sometimes if the only time you do have it is in the morning, then maybe we got to change the time that we wake up, which I'm getting ready to talk about in a minute. So maybe we have to change the time of when we wake up. Maybe we need to wake up an additional 30 minutes, which means maybe we got to go to sleep 30 minutes earlier. You get what I'm saying? You have to adjust your whole day because you want to set the tone for your day. All right, so lesson 2, we are talking about purpose-driven priorities, right? So with purpose-driven priorities, there are a lot of priorities, there are a lot of tasks and things that we have to do every single day. However, I know for me, and sometimes I kind of still do it, but I know sometimes for me, like I used to put the things that I know I really needed to do off at the back end and then try to get the easier stuff done first. And I'm going to, explain to you and show and teach you guys, let's do the opposite. The very thing that you really don't want to do that's going to take the most time, you got to, but that's really the main priority of what that you really need to get done. Let's put that to the forefront. And the reason being is because when we put off those things that we know we really should be doing towards the end of our list, typically they never get done, right? Because something else has came up. You got 5 things on your list. Number 3, 4, and 5 is what you're really supposed to be doing. But you say, oh, I'm going to knock out number 1 and 2. And then you knock out 1 and 2. Maybe start on 3. But now you got to go get the kid from the school. Or now somebody else call you on your day off from work, and then you got to do something else is going to distract you from getting the things that you really, really need to get done now because they're at the end of your list. So now I want you to reverse that. Put those priority things at the beginning of your list. Even though I know you might not want to do it, or I'm hesitant, or oh, this is going to take too long. Okay, it's going to take too long, but we got to get it done. Right? So put those things forward. And figuring out, what's urgent and what's important. Figuring out, how should I prioritize again my day? How should I prioritize my daily tasks and my daily schedule? And then another thing is you want to also think about connecting that to your future and connecting that to your goals and connecting that to your purpose. We talked about writing goals down, writing our vision down, writing our future down. So now we have to think, okay, the priorities that are on this particular list, which one is going to help me get to my vision, get to my future, or get to my goals faster? And out of that list, whatever is going to put you to your goals faster and your future, those need to be at the top of the list. That cannot be at the bottom. That just cannot be at the bottom, because again, you're going to procrastinate and things are just not going to work out the way, 9 times out of 10 that you want them. So put it at the top of your list, which goes back to lesson 1. Now figuring out, okay, this is my top priority. Where in my day can I do this? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it at night? So figuring all of those out combines together. And then, you want to, of course, within your day, try to eliminate distractions. In lesson 3, I'll go into more so distractions. But for now, prioritize those things at the beginning of your list. So there is your action steps for that. There is in your workbook, you have a daily top 3. And that daily top 3, I want you to write 3 things daily. So you're going to go day by day. And on your list, write down, okay, today is Monday. These are the top 3 things that I know I need to get done. When Tuesday comes, these are the top things that I know I need to get for Tuesday. But you're going to do that every single day. So you're not planning out the week. You're doing it day by day. And the reason why you don't want to do it for the week, you can write a list for the whole week. And then if you want to section it off, okay, I'll get these first 3 on Monday, these first on Tuesday. I don't like to do that only because sometimes, like, when you look at the list, it's like, today's Monday, but I ain't gonna do Monday list. I'm gonna pull something from Wednesday, or I'm gonna pull something from Tuesday. No, so that's why I say daily list. If you want to do it like at nighttime, so the night before, so like in the morning, you already have your list for that day. That's cool too. Or again, you can wake up in the morning and you can do a brand new list for that day. That's what I do. I do a brand new list for that day because now I'm focused on that day. I don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring. So I'm not even putting goals just yet for tomorrow. Let me establish what I need to do for Monday. And then if you have your top 3, let's say you get 1 and 2 done, but you haven't gotten your third thing. Now your third thing now becomes number 1 on Tuesday's list. Y'all follow me, and so on and so forth. So you want to do that, and then a question that you want to ask yourself is, does this help the person that I am becoming? Is this helping the purpose that, you know, I'm going for? Is this helping my business? Is this helping, you know, be that mentor, that leader, and that entrepreneur? So you always want to ask yourself those things, and if the answer is no, then move it to the bottom. Right? And then last thing I want you to do as an action step this week is to find one thing to say no to. Say no to unnecessary distractions. So if you know that it's something that you got to get done, but then something else is distracting you, you need to be focused, set a boundary with yourself and say, no, I cannot do that. If somebody calls you and say, hey, you want to go out to eat? You want to go to the movies? You want to go here? You want to go there? No. Because again, they might be where they need to be, or they might not be where they need to be. And as a distraction, you going with them to the movie's gonna always be there. You can go next week. You have to prioritize your life. Saying no is okay, and moving on, because again, that is putting you closer to your goals and to your purpose. By you sometimes saying no because you want to ensure that you are focused, tunnel vision, and getting things done. Lesson 3, we are talking about focus, and following through, right? Focus and following through on our routines. Consistency. It beats motivation. Consistency beats motivation. Consistency beats motivation, because there are going to be times where you are not motivated. There are going to be times where you do not want to do what it is that you need to do, but you have to keep that mindset of, I'm one step closer to my goal. I'm one step closer to my future. I'm one step closer to my purpose, and continue to do it even in the times that you don't want to do it. The times that you don't want to do it be the times that you really need to do it, right? So make sure that that's what we're doing. And like I say, small routines. You don't have to start big. The goal is just to start. You don't have to start big. You don't have to know all the answers. As you continue to go through the process, as you continue to literally take small steps, keep the faith, take small steps, keep the faith, take small steps, keep the faith, and trust the process, you are planting your seeds. You're planting your seeds for what it is that you are trying to grow, and the destination that you're trying to get to, right? So we need to ensure that we're doing that. And we need to, like I said, and it just goes back to just ensuring that, you know, we're cutting off all distractions. We're not being lazy. We're not procrastinating. And so doing all of that and prioritizing your list, and having that, you know, time, and that, like I said, that's what time management is, right? It helps reduce the stress, right? It helps reduce the stress, because like I said in lesson 1, we just want to get this done and get this done and get this done, and we can get it done, but it has to be in a routine. It has to be in a way that I'm still going to get my daily tasks done, but I'm still going to do my personal things too. You know what I'm saying? And it's really about finding that balance between the two. So the action steps for lesson 3 is going to be your distraction list. So in your workbook, you have a distraction list. You're going to identify 2 time wasters. 2 time wasters. If you get 3, 4, and 5, then cool. But I want at least 2 time wasters that you find as a habit or frequently that you do, that you need to stop doing, right? And then I don't have it up there, but then aside from that, or at the bottom or beside it, write 2 positive things that you can do in place of that, because we want to not only be aware of the distractions, but we want to replace those distractions with something that we, you know, need to be doing, which also goes to the focus block. So practice focusing on doing something for your purpose and your future for 25 minutes a day with like no distractions, or, you know, throughout the day. So you can set, okay, 25 minutes on the timer. For this 25 minutes, if you have to do, you know, like emails and admin work, for this 25 minutes, this is what I am doing, right? Put your phone on do not disturb. Don't have no calls, no texts coming through. And for that 25 minutes, I'm focusing on emails and admin work or office work or whatever, right? Let's just say that's at 10 a.m. Then, okay, you take a little break, you eat lunch, you do, you know, watch some TV, scroll on social media, whatever. Okay, so now we're maybe be at 1 o'clock, right? 12 o'clock. another 25-minute block, or you can do a 30-minute block. I know some people do like power hours, so like a power hour in the morning, power hour at night. I just use 25 minutes as a starter. But again, set something that works for you, at least 25 minutes. I wouldn't go less than that. And set it for different times within your day. At least, maybe depending on the time, but if you're doing 25 minutes, I say at least 3 times, because then that would at least give you, at least 3 or 4 times. It'll give you at least like an hour or so throughout the day to at least get some things done. And again, it's progress. Every single little small step is helping you forward. So you'll work on that, and then I want you to create one small daily habit that you're going to do. So whether that's study time, whether that's getting up earlier in the morning, whether that's going to bed a little bit later at night, whether that's, working out for, at least 20 to 30 minutes a day, whether that's eating, and for me, eating before 8 p.m. because I used to eat like really late, and sometimes I still do. But again, the goal, and I have it written on my refrigerator, is to eat before 8 p.m. because I don't want to eat so late and then I'm trying to go to bed early. So I don't want to eat and then I'm full and then I'm going right to bed. So that's another thing. Figuring out just one thing. And in this workbook, you guys, it's a PDF. So of course you can print multiple pages of this, but it's just a guide to help you, help and jumpstart. So I will leave you guys with this. So that is the, like I said, homework that I want you guys to do, not only just right now, but as a continuing practice, because the more we practice, the more we get, into it, and it becomes a routine. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. Is my time working for me, or am I reacting to everything around me? That is a question that you need to ask yourself, and reflect upon that as well. Last thing I'm gonna leave you with is going to be an affirmation. I use my time with intention, clarity, and purpose. You can write that down, you can save it, and start to repeat, those things, and repeat that in those instances when you become distracted, like when you realize that your mind is kind of like wandering off into something else and you got to reel it back in. I use my time with intention, clarity, and purpose, right? So that is all for time management.